Welcome back, my friends, to another cinematic color grading Capcut PC tutorial. So it's gonna be a very easy cinematic color grading Capcut PC tutorial, and I'm going to go straight right onto it and create something cinematic for us to watch. Your color grading should depend on your mindset. Remember, every cinematic feel you get has to do with the mood, okay? Because we've watched so many cinematic movies in the past, and we know for a fact that we'll get different looks and feel to it. So not wasting your time, let's start. So I'm going to hit the plus and bring in this clip. As you can see, it's going to be short, so please sit back, relax, don't click off, and watch to the end. So now let's do this. Right, yes. So now we want to go to adjustment. All right, and what I usually do and start with is the curve. There's something I learned too earlier on, and you can watch that in my previous video. I like to increase the saturation to the max. Okay, so do you see what it gives me? That color already. But then we need to adjust some other colors because you can see it's not yet popping, as you can see. So let's go to curves, and this is where the magic usually happen when it comes to cinematic color grading in Capcut, the curves. So now let's bring in something so that you can monitor a bit. So that something is the color oscilloscope. So we're going to turn that on, and this is what we want to monitor. You see where this barrier is, we want to bring it a little bit down, and this, we don't want it to overshoot this 1023 at the top. So we are just going to make points in the curves. So to the top you have the white, you have the black, then you have the shadow, highlights, and mid-tone. So we are just going to adjust the highlights and the shadow. Okay, sometimes I just like to leave the mid-tone where it is, especially if you use a good camera. It does not usually make a lot of difference. So now I'm going to move this upwards to just try to push this closer to this point. So I'll just do that. Okay, as you can see, I'm not over pushing it, so I'm going to try to push this down just to balance it out a bit, not much. Okay, as you can see, it gives it that good feeling already. So we don't want to overdo it. If you want to get black out, you can just move this a bit like that. All right, you can do that little, and you can also reduce the white in the image. Okay, as you can see, reduced a lot of the white. And now once we're done with that, we can come back to basics, and then we work from here. Remember, you always want to turn on skin tone so that it does not affect this skin of whoever is in this video or image. So we're going to turn that on, very important, and then we'll move down. All right, so you see we have saturation, we have temperature. You can now try to reduce saturation if you want, or if you still want the saturation up there, then it's fine, but I like it at 37 most times. It works. Then temperature, this is where it gives that extra cinematic, but it does not pop because we're going to do that in the HSL tab. So we'll just work with the temperature, as you can see. All right, so this temperature, you can make it more to the blue temperature, cold, or you make it somewhere like that. But for me, most cinematic feel to me is always warm, except it's a night scene. This is a cool afternoon in summer, so it should be warm, right? For the all, I can bring this a bit to the green, like so. You can also take it there, but if I bring it to the green part, it should work better. Okay, so that's where I want it to be. Let's leave that 13. Then let's go to the HSL. So now you can now work with individual colors. As we can see, she has this blue code, so we can bring that color out by increasing the saturation on that. As you can see, if we reduce it, we take that blue out totally, but if we do increase it, we get it in there. All right, all again, you can reduce or increase to give it that pink sky. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. Brightness, we can leave that. I just want to make the blue pop because blue is the more prominent color in here. Okay, so we have that. Then we can go over to green. Green is for the grasses, as you can see. So if we increase the saturation, you see all of a sudden that's where, because green is the most dominant color in this shot, once I increase it, it changed this video totally, as you can see, bringing it to life. So we can do that with the all to just change it to a different color, whatever we want. We can change it to that blue. So you see the way we brought it out, made it greener, and now it's differentiated from these far end colors, which is perfect. Okay, we have no red, but you can see these flowers, they have a bit of red, so we can try to make that pop and see if it works. Okay, a little, it works a little, so it's something we can just play with. So it worked a little, and now that we have that, we can now go back. We might want it bright like this. Let's just show what we've done. So if I go from here, so this is what we'll have. You see, as we brought it to life, simple. Then you can go over and reduce other things like brightness. Okay, if you want to make it a bit dark, okay, you can do that. If you want to make it bright, which you don't want to do, because once you do that, remember what I said in the beginning, you're overshooting this barrier and you don't want that. So you can just make it a bit bright. I think the brightness is okay. Contrast, okay, I think that is okay too. Highlights, all right. So that for me is okay. Shadows, okay. So we have a perfect looking image now, and we just have to do one more thing. This vignette, if you want the vignette, you can put in vignette. It's up to you. If you don't want it, you can take it out. Fade just does what fade does, reduce it, making it feel more in the zone, right? And particles, just add grain to the image. As you can see, if you look closely to this top part, you see what I'm talking about. So we can reduce that. Sharpness, you can also reduce that, but it can also destroy your image, so be really careful when you do that. So we just reduce that to about 1, nothing much. I don't want it to be too sharp. And there you go. See you on the next one. Stay blessed.